Hello, my name is Mason. In this lecture, I will be discussing the Westminster Palace and the Westminster Abbey, what these buildings symbolize for Britain, and what effects it had on the land during the late classical era in regards to its government and its religion. The Palace of Westminster and the Westminster Abbey began to be built by the Thames River on Thorney Island in the 11th century by King Edward the Confessor. Since then, it has been expanded upon and built up, as it has come to be the visual representation of Britain and its ideals. By this, I mean that the Abbey is representation for its religion and its dominance and wealth, as shown by the pictures below. This is an extravagant building, and some of the greatest architecture we've ever seen. The palace to represent its government, with it seating both houses of parliament for its government now, and Ceremonial Valley has been the site where monarchs have been crowned since its inception in the 11th century, to its renowned mausoleum holding the remains of the greatest names in British history. Moving on to its role in the late classical era, feudalism was the form of government at the time. Feudalism is classified by its usage of a system called vassalage, or becoming one's vassal. By this, it forms a hierarchy of sorts between four classes of people: the king, who is the highest up, to higher lords, lesser lords, and peasants. With this sort of system, it connects them all, as they all have a give and share type of relationship. The higher up lord, or the king, grants land, and in return, the lower lords offer up money, knights, or food. This system was helpful at the time because after the fall of the Roman Empire, England was fractured, and it turned into smaller subjugate manors who mostly kept to themselves. With a system like this, it connects everyone while also providing much commerce for the economy. But there's one major flaw with this system, as it forms a hierarchy with few elite imposing on the majority poor, leading to a social standing crisis. This flaw led to a series of social unrest and even revolts. One such revolt, the Peasants' Revolt of 1381, is discussed in the Lualdi source early in this year on pages 259 to pages 262. This revolt was the result of the king imposing extra taxes during the 100-Year War after the Black Death. It ended the day afterwards on the 15th of June, when their leader, Wat Tyler, was killed, and the king signed a charter with the peasants appealing to their protest. Moving on to religion. The Westminster Abbey is a spectacular construction signifying the peak of British construction in the 11th century by Edward the Confessor. It would later be rebuilt by Henry III in 1240, in part because of his ambition, as France and Spain were building larger and more spectacular churches and abbeys. This revision brought about the greatest craftsmanship in Britain, with a great oak roof achieving the title of greatest medieval construction in wood. And drawing from some of the greatest masons in Britain, they sought to achieve what you see there, the pictures below. With this amazing abbey, they sought to signify Britain's strength by contrasting with other cathedrals and churches that were being built in neighboring Christian nations. This was also built with intent of raising national pride and the competition with the countries mentioned earlier. In conclusion, the Westminster Palace and Abbey serve as identifying stables for the nation of Britain, serving as examples of their government and religion from the 11th century to modern day. We also learned how the feudal system works, with pros benefiting the people of Britain by uniting and protecting their small manors, but also the cons, and how it drives the wedge of social classes, which ultimately results in a revolt, as we discussed in the Lualdi source. Finally, how religion was a part of the political game, with King Henry III using the rebuilding of the Abbey as a competition with neighboring countries. Thank you for your attention, and have a great day.